Yo, what's going on YouTube? And welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte, and we are taking a look today at the Buffalo Sabres, and I'm going to be doing my predictions for the 2021 offseason for the Buffalo Sabres. We'll be taking a look at that in this video. If you guys like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL, more videos just like this one, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and an even bigger subscribe down below. So let's take a look at the Buffalo Sabres. So the Sabres are in store for potentially a very big offseason. And it might be for the better at this point. I mean, obviously things have not worked out for Buffalo. And we could see some pretty major changes up in Buffalo, hopefully sometime this offseason. So we're going to start things off with the coaching staff. We're going to see some changes. And it depends on who goes where. Because unfortunately for the Buffalo Sabres, they are going to get the trickle effects of, what the Rangers get for their head coach, probably for what, teams on the West Coast do with their coaching staff. Those are going to get figured out before the Buffalo Sabres situation. Because let's be honest, the next head coach in Buffalo has his work cut out for him. But there's one guy in particular that in the past actually thought about going to Buffalo, and he ended up going to Toronto. Things didn't work out. What if we saw Mike Babcock go to the Buffalo Sabres? I know it seems like a little bit of a stretch, but we are talking about culture change to the utter max. Mike Babcock would be able to do that for the Buffalo Sabres. And this is a guy that would come in. He has the pedigree in Detroit. He did have some success with the Toronto Maple Leafs. This is a great opportunity for him to start over in Buffalo with a team that is desperate for a coach that has a lot of history. Yes, he's had a little bit of backlash over the years, but this is a guy that if the Buffalo Sabres want to win, change their culture, Mike Babcock is your guy. And you're telling the rest of the NHL we are taking this seriously by getting a guy like Mike Babcock. Who do they draft in the first round with their draft pick? I think they draft a forward. Now, which forward? Depends on where they're drafting. If they're drafting second overall, you're probably taking a guy like Dylan Genscher or Matt Beniers. If you're drafting maybe, fourth or fifth, you might maybe take a guy like William Eklund or maybe a guy like Fabian Lysell. So it depends on where they fall in the draft. But I think they're going to take a forward. They have enough defensemen as long as they keep guys like Ristolainen, as long as they keep guys like Dahlin, they should be okay on the back end. Maybe you pick up a veteran in free agency or whatever. That fixes your problem there. But ideally, you pick a forward, specifically a winger, to play alongside a guy like Jack Eichel or Dylan Cousins to fill out your forward group at this point. That is really a big need. So now we get into the trades. I think the big three will be re-signed or traded. Jack Eichel, projecting he goes to the New York Rangers. Sam Reinhart, I think he's going to get traded to the San Jose Sharks, or at least his rights. So they may be able to get a second for Sam Reinhart, unless they do a signing trade and they get full max value for him. And the next guy is Ristolainen. I think they try to negotiate a contract extension this summer with Risto. And if they go into training camp, they don't have an extension, I'd be going in with the mindset, all right, we should probably trade him right now. We're going to get more value for him now than we will at the trade deadline. Let's trade Risto now. It's going to be another tough year. Depends on what they do with Eichel and Reinhart at that point as well. But at that point, maybe it's best to trade Rasmus Ristolainen in training camp and get him off the books. You're not worrying about that all season going into the trade deadline and losing value for him. Just get it done and move out Ristolainen in the beginning of training camp. If you can't get a deal done throughout this summer, which they will have plenty of time to do, and if not, if Ristolainen isn't sold on the Buffalo Sabres, it's time to let go of Ristolainen. As sad as that is the truth, especially if they let go of guys like Eichel or Reinhart this summer as well. May just add to the complications. So the Buffalo Sabres, I think, are going to have a fairly quiet offseason. Now, it depends on the big moves. If they really are going to trade Eichel or Reinhart or Ristolainen, those are obviously significant moves. But if they decide to keep all three, well, then that's pretty much it. The only guy that legitimately can't has the decision to not re-sign with Buffalo is Sam Reinhart. And that's only if Jack Eichel or Ristolainen, legitimately, if they get traded. So it's interesting. I think the next head coach vacancy, do they bring in a Rick Tocchet? I think Rick Tocchet behind Mike Babcock would be a really nice addition. We saw what he did with the Coyotes, really turned them around. Didn't get them the playoff success that they were hoping for, but he was able to get the best out of that Coyotes team, if we're being honest. And he added a lot of structure to that group. And I think a guy like Rick Tocchet or Mike Babcock is exactly what the Buffalo Sabres need. This is gonna be a rough offseason. Again, they don't have a ton of cap space, if we're gonna be honest. And let's be honest, in free agency, who's going to want to go to the Buffalo Sabres right now? With the tire fire they are, and they don't know if Jack Eichel's staying or going, or Ristolainen staying or going. There's too much uncertainty in Buffalo, and I think it's going to be really hard to sell top players on going to Buffalo. They were able to do it last year with Taylor Hall, but that may be it for the next little while. So guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. What do you think the Buffalo Sabres should do in the 2021 offseason? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you guys like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL, you guys know what to do. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and an even bigger subscribe down below. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and let's go Sabres.